Grandmaster Yoda is perhaps one of the wisest and most experienced Jedi Masters to have assumed the title of Grandmaster throughout the history of the entire Order. With almost 900 years of life experience and wisdom to draw from, Yoda has been present for some of the most pivotal moments throughout galactic history. As the Jedi Order and the Republic crumbled before them, Obi-Wan and Yoda were responsible for hiding away the Skywalker twins, two of the most important children in the galaxy, and the potential key to liberation from the Empire. Together, they developed a plan to oversee the safety and security of the children until they were ready to learn the truth of their parentage and their place within the wider galaxy and the Force as a whole. Over the years, Luke took on the training of the Jedi Knights before him, while Leia grew into a fiercely talented political leader and wartime commander, becoming an idol and hero of the rebellion, as they each played their part in destabilizing the Galactic Empire and leading the downfall of Emperor Palpatine. This leaves us to wonder, however, given their inherent Force sensitivity and potential to learn the ways of the Jedi arts, would Leia have been a better Jedi Knight than Luke was? Would Leia have been the better choice to train? And is it possible that Yoda himself even agreed that he would have preferred to train Leia over Luke? Well, today, students of the Force, let's dive into this explanation and explain exactly why Yoda actually wanted to train Leia instead of Luke Skywalker, and why he would have preferred to train Leia Organa. While watching the children grow up, Yoda was able to keep tabs on their own respective strengths, weaknesses, and personality developments, something that he looked upon often and with great scrutiny. Yoda regarded Leia's natural leadership and strength of will as two of her most prominent traits that would have helped her immensely in not only her path of a Jedi, but in the future as a combat leader as well, and a leader of the rebellion overall, as she was skilled beyond the simple arts of the Force. While Leia would have been tasked with understanding the Force and garnering a promising understanding of the Jedi practices, she also would have been one of the only remaining Jedi Knights and would have to understand how to lead forces into battle against the Empire, a task that was not deemed on the heads of Jedi during the Clone Wars. Although Leia herself had the potential to become incredibly powerful, she would have likely been alone in the fight if she was trained in her brother's place. However, Yoda believed that the young Jedi could do it. Given her political prowess and natural authority, Yoda believed that Leia would have been a much more capable leader against Palpatine's forces than that of Luke. And Leia held the promise and potential of becoming a stronger Jedi Knight than her brother, who was raised in relative obscurity on Tatooine. Not stronger in her gifts in the Force necessarily, as it is believed that the Skywalker twins are equal in their potential, but would have overall shown more promise as a Jedi Knight and future Grand Master. Luke Skywalker, on the other hand, had shown no political inclination, but he also showcased a much more dangerous level of instability and uncertainty as a whole. Much like his father Anakin, as his life had been often relegated to Tatooine, his growth into a capable Jedi Knight is widely regarded as one of the most prevalent character transformation in modern cinema. We see Luke Skywalker over the course of his story develop the traits that we already see inherently in Leia. The evolution of Luke Skywalker as a character into a capable Jedi Knight, an ultimate Grandmaster of the New Order, is such a far cry from his humble beginnings as a lowly farm boy on Tatooine. And Yoda, the Grandmaster at the time, was skeptical that he was capable of such a drastic transformation into one of the most powerful Jedi Knights in the history of the Jedi practice, because in fact of his humble beginnings, similar beginnings to his father, Anakin, which also scared Yoda a great deal. In Grandmaster Yoda's mind, he had one last chance to train the galaxy's new hope, seeing as he was waning in health and nearing the end of his own life, and Leia was a far safer bet to ensure the future of the galaxy and future generations of the Jedi Order. Yoda preferred to leave the rebellion in the safe hands of Jedi General Leia Organa and not the untrained hands of Luke. Not only did Leia have the natural charisma, leadership, and capability of strength of will to understand what it truly meant to be a Jedi Knight and defend the innocence of the wider galaxy as a whole, but perhaps importantly, she was more inclined to understand the responsibility of holding the power of a Jedi without the same risk of falling subject to the dark side. One of Yoda's greatest failures was the birth of Lord Vader and the corruption of Anakin by the dark side, giving the young Skywalker access to training that would help him hone his incredible latent power within the Force without adequately teaching him emotional maturity. And the responsibility that came with harnessing this incredible source of strength was one of the key aspects in Anakin's downfall, not giving the child the emotional support he needed. and to Yoda, both of the Skywalker twins faced the exact same challenge with their natural latent abilities. Of the two, Luke greatly concerned Yoda, as not only did he showcase an incredible raw potential in the Force, but also the innate ability and even tendency to succumb to the very same emotional desires that cost Vader his tie to the light side and the Jedi. Luke's loyalty and willingness to do the right thing in the face of certain death is one of his defining character traits, and these traits closely mirror the same emotional drive that led Anakin into the hands of Sidious and the dark side. While Luke would eventually be able to balance his emotional attachments with his training as a Jedi Knight, Yoda was a master from an old time where attachments were strictly forbidden. To the extent of his knowledge, emotional attachment was a straight shot to the dark side and was what caused Anakin's fall and his great fear of Luke. This emotional blindness and love for others already led one of the Skywalkers to the dark side and resulted in one of the single greatest threats that the modern galaxy had ever faced. And he believed that Leia would be far less likely to fall down the same dark path as her father, and likewise her brother. We even saw Luke Skywalker struggle with the allure of the dark side throughout the course of Return of the Jedi, as he watched him slip closer and closer into giving in, even though he was ultimately able to restrain himself and plant himself firmly in the side of the light. Leia, however, would be a far less risky choice, as she was far more used to the emotional tense situations and using logic approaches to solve problems, without ever being blinded by emotional drive. It's also clear that Leia has a much more difficult time forming attachments than what Luke does, as she is less open to the likes of Han Solo, Chewbacca, and others. In a way, this almost works in her advantage as a potential Jedi Knight. Even while facing down Darth Vader in the opening moments of A New Hope, Leia was able to maintain her complete composure, and though she blasted Vader with witty remarks and sarcastic quips, she didn't allow her emotions nor her fear to take over and allow her to lose control of the situation. Leia faced down perhaps one of the single most terrifying threats in the galaxy, and was able to maintain a cool head, while on the other hand, Luke's emotional drive pointed him dangerously close to the dark side. We see him succumb to anger in his final duel with Darth Vader. We see him disobey his masters, but in the end, it's these mistakes that make Luke Skywalker the perfect choice for Yoda to have trained. It is the mistakes of the past, being Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi, that they almost actually sought to repeat with the training of Leia, training her in the ways of the old Jedi, when in reality, the Jedi needed to take a long look at themselves and their own failures. This is not to say that Leia would not have been a phenomenal Jedi. However, the brashness and even somewhat arrogance of Luke is exactly what the Jedi Order needed. But anyway, my friends, what are your thoughts on this? And what are your thoughts on why Yoda actually wanted to train Leia as a Jedi instead of Luke? Do you believe that Leia would have been the wiser choice to be trained? And if not, why? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching the channel. May the Force be with you, and I hope that you have a great day.